Hi everyone! Since I've had the 3 mini USVs, I've often been asked what they can do. Can they maintain the power supply to a router when power has been interrupted, or does a router switch to offline mode for a short time despite having backup power and then switches itself back again? This is a test using a Fritz Box 7490 as well as a Shanqui and Ilepo USV boxes. These items are being used for the test. A laptop, a router, a 3-way extension lead. Please note, the on-off switch will be used later to simulate power loss. An ampere meter and an USV. And now for the same but in a bit more detail, a smartphone will be used to film the ampere meter and the USV. Doing it this way makes it easier to keep a close eye on the switching status and current level. Before doing the test itself, here's some more information on the USV and what it can do. First off, we need to check that the USV Mini is set to 12 volts. No problem there, it's at 12 volts. Check. This is another view, and we can see both USV Minis, the Shanqui and the Ilepo. Both USVs are put together the same way but work differently. Lids off, and we can see inside both of them. Power bar on. Then Ilepo Box switch on. The Ilepo Box is on mains power supply. The green light shows it's connected. The Ilepo Box has to be switched on manually. To turn it on, you need to hold down the exterior switch for at least 3 seconds. Now the Ilepo Box is ready for use. You can check the voltage by looking at the external voltmeter. 12.2 volts. Spot on! Now the Ilepo Box cannot be switched off if external power is switched off. If mains power is cut, the Ilepo Box switches automatically to battery power. The red light shows that it has switched to battery power. The LED changes to green when the power supply to the box has been switched back to mains. The LED changes to green when the power supply to the box has been switched back to mains. The only way to switch off the Ilepo Box is by using the button on the reverse side. By the way, the Ilepo Box is now being sold with a new name, the Kit Box Mini UPS. Let's go to the Shanqui. The Shanqui box can be used when it's connected to mains current. Switch on. You don't have to use the external switch on the reverse side. All of the other functions are just the same as the ones with the Ilepo Box. If the power is cut, the batteries supply the power. The LEDs are the same as with the Ilepo Box, red and green. Mains electricity on, mains electricity off. There are 2 ways to switch off the Ilepo and Shanqui boxes. First, power loss while using battery power. Secondly, power loss while using mains power. If the box is using battery power and the exterior switch is pressed, then the box automatically goes to off. If the box is using mains power and the exterior switch is pressed, then the box goes to standby. The LED stays green. Shortly after the mains switch is pressed, the green LED goes off. The box is off. Okay, if you've got all that, we'll return to the router test. Welcome back. The Ilepo Box, you can see, will be replaced by the Shanqui Box. So we get a better overview. The laptop is being put to one side. Laptop on and wireless connection on. The Shanqui Box coming into view has mains power, converts this to 12 volts, and this supplies the router with power. The connection to the internet is via the Wi-Fi, so you can surf the net, for example using Wikipedia. The USV box supplies power from the power network. I'll simulate some random interruptions of power from this source. Mains power off. Mains power on. Mains power off. Mains power on. Power supply from batteries or main supply remains stable the whole time. The router doesn't lose the internet connection. Okie dokie. And now I'll do the same with the Ilepo box. Laptop off. Take the Shanqui box away. Power supply is inevitably interrupted by swapping the USV boxes around. This internet connection is cut. There's no power. The Ilepo box is in position. The box is on and supplies the power. Data is now transferred via a LAN cable. So, laptop on and off we go. Just wait a moment till we have an internet connection and make sure everything's working. Fine, the system's up and running. I'll simulate some random interruptions of power from this source again. Mains power off, mains power on, and mains power off. So, same results with the Ilepo box. Stable connection. If you'd like to know how long the USVs maintain power supply, watch the next video. Hi again everyone. Now I'm going to test the batteries. There are two questions. First, how long can an USV Mini supply a router in continuous use with current? Secondly, after a break in supply, does an USV Mini automatically connect to the internet when the current is re-established? You'll already be familiar with these devices. Right then, ampere meter on, mains power on. The router starts booting up. While the router is booting up, laptop on. The router is booted up now and on standby. Connecting the router to Wi-Fi. The laptop too is booted up and on standby. Switching on Wi-Fi and connecting the laptop to the internet. Okay, good connection to the internet. You can now consult Wikipedia or go onto YouTube and watch videos. Fine, everything is working. You should be familiar with what's happening now. If power is interrupted, the red LED comes on and the batteries take over. We need to keep an eye on the power level and the time. And now power is cut. While the test is running, I'll say something about speed. The test sequence has been edited and this is not how it all actually happened. The test duration as represented here has been shortened to 90 seconds. If I reproduce the test on screen at 234, the speed appears to be 234. You wouldn't have a clear view of what's going on. I'll explain just how speeding things up works in the Ilepo test next. Turn off the sound if this doesn't grab you. Place your bets on which number the digital display will end up at. shut down. The tuned USV box lasted to 5 hours, 50 minutes and 43 seconds. All fine and dandy, but what happens if the current comes back on after 3 hours? Does the box switch itself back on? Do the batteries start to charge again? Does the router boot itself up and connect itself to the internet? Is the PC still connected to the internet again? Okay, let's start the test. Mains power on again. The router starts to boot up. The router is now booted up and on standby. Now the router has recognized its last setting and activated the Wi-Fi. The laptop has activated the Wi-Fi and automatically connected itself to the internet. As long as it was switched to operate mode, the connection to the website from before has to be reactivated. Everything else works automatically. Great stuff! Now everything is switched off and I continue with the Ilepo Box. Because the last lot was so great, I'm going to do the same now with the Ilepo Box. The screen design is like before. A voltmeter is being used as well to monitor the voltage. As I've already said, the Ilepo Box has to be switched on manually. Right then, turn the voltmeter up to 20 volts DC and switch on. Ampere meter on. Ilepo Box power on. It's 12.5 volts. The router is working on a connection. Laptop on. I'm doing the test without Wi-Fi and with 2 LAN cables. 1 laptop and 1 desktop. Both computers are on. The internet is connected. You can Google, Wikipedia, load YouTube and watch videos. So everything's working. We're monitoring ampere and voltage levels in real time. We can start now. United Kingdom Schulkids will fire the starting bomb. Countdown from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for the bombastic start. I'll give you an illustrated explanation so you can get a better understanding of speed. I'll use the Shanqui test as an example. We'll use even numbers. If the whole test lasts 6 hours, I'll divide the film up into 15 24-minute sections. The initial 24 seconds of each section will be used for 14 of the filmed sections. With the 15th, I'll use the last 24 seconds. When collated, these 15 sections, each 24 seconds long, will give us a film lasting 360 seconds. This film lasting 360 seconds is then shown on the screen at 4 times the speed. This gives you the impression of fast motion. If the film had been speed up around 200 times, anything appearing on the screen would be unclear. All you'd see is some slight movement. You can place bets about which number will be left with. And shut down. Right, the box lasted 4 hours, 44 minutes and 26 seconds.
Hooray!
Unlike the Shanqui, it doesn't switch itself back on after the power has been out. The Ilepo Box has to be switched on manually. The green light is actually on, but nothing else is happening. To summarize, Shanqui Box with customized batteries 5 hours 50 minutes and 43 seconds.
Ilepo Box with standard batteries 4 hours 44 minutes and 26 seconds. Another comment. I've been asked if the boxes can get power from the mains if the batteries fail. That's something I've tried out. The standard situation is like this. The Shanqui Box spans battery power. Then it switches to main power. Simulation of power cut from batteries by pulling the plug. The box still spans current. The same situation we have with the Ilepo Box. The standard situation is like this. The Ilepo Box spans battery power, then it switches to mains power. Simulation of power cut from batteries by pulling the plug. The box still gets current. I hope this information helped you. Thanks for watching and listening. See you sometime.